we are not at ease with ourselves. We want to throw ourselves to something else. We are not ready to sit with ourselves. We are so much disturbed with our being, with ourselves. We always want to divert our attention to something else. We are not ready to look into ourselves because so much of wounds, so much is oozing out, so much of smell which you cannot bear, so you never look into yourself. We always look outside. When you are not ease with yourself, when you are dis-ease with yourself, disease starts. The root cause of disease is dis-ease with yourself. When you are uneased, diseased, disease starts. So I am going to go to the root cause of disease, and when we go to the root cause, we don't have to cut the root. Just go to the root of some tree and open it. Let the sun rays enter into the root. Naturally a tree will die. You don't have to kill. Simply go to the root. Root will disappear. In the same way, go to the root of disease. When we go to the root of disease, naturally, not only the disease, the root of disease also disappears. So these 7 days, we are going to go to the root of disease. And when we attend this class, there are few things how to use this class in a best possible way. For that, I will give you few tips for you all. One thing, first instruction, be completely relaxed. Don't be tense. Don't try to concentrate on anything. Never bother about anything. Never worry that how will I practice what I listen. You will be listening so many things. Don't make a plan that after going to house, I will practice this, I will practice that. Don't create any plan. Don't create any mental structure. Just sit with a complete relaxed mood and relaxed mind. Don't have any expectation, urge, or any concentrating efforts which makes you tense. Don't have any of that type of efforts. And be with an open mind. Be with an open mind. When I say the word be with an open mind, don't bring any ideas which you have already listened, read, heard. Many of you might have attended many yoga classes, many other meditation courses. So, when you come inside, don't bring all those ideas with you. Just leave all those ideas where you leave your shoes. When you leave your shoes, just leave your mind also there. Come inside with an open mind. I am not telling you have faith on me. I am telling you have openness on me. You have all the right to doubt. You have all the right to question. But come with an openness. Allow what is happening here and get involved completely. Don't be a spectator. Don't be a witness. Completely get involved. And experiment with my experiences. What I am going to give you these few days is not at all some theory. What I am going to teach you on these 6 or 7 days is not any theory or philosophy or Ramayana, Bharata or Bhagavata. I am not going to tell you any story that Rama went to forest or Rama took away Sita and then Rama went to Sri Lanka. All these things I am not going to tell. what I am going to tell is something day-to-day practical affairs. What I am going to deal is complete science and which you can practice in day-to-day life. So try to experiment with my experience. There are two kinds of people. When you listen to my words, one thing, there are few people who will not accept anything. Just continuously, negative way, they will be opposing all the words, all my words, opposing all my ideas. They are not going to be benefited in any way. They are just wasting their time here. And who have come with some prejudice that I am not going to accept these ideas. Then if somebody is there that way, he is not going to be benefited. And another type of person is there who accepts whatever I say. He is also not going to be benefited by this class. Please be aware. He is also equally not going to be benefited by my class. A man who is ready to experiment what I say, he is the only man who is going to get benefited by my class. There are few people who listen whatever I say. Finally they say, yes, Swamiji spoke so beautifully and we are so happy. Everything they will tell. But you just ask them one word, what he spoke. What he spoke, just ask only one word. No, that you don't ask. He spoke very nicely. What he spoke? He spoke. Chennai matadare. Yen matadare gottilla. Finally that's what we learn. So he has spoken nicely, but what he has spoken, he don't know. There are those type of people. What will they do maximum? They will put my big photograph. Do all. And the people who are doubting and people who are believing, both are not going to be having any benefit. Both are not going to be benefited by this class. Only people who are trusting me. Trust is something more than belief. Trust is something more than faith. Faith plus the energy, the capacity to work out these ideas is what I call trust. When you trust me, when you are ready to experience, when you are ready to experiment with my experiences, with my ideas, only then you are going to be benefited. So, when you attend the class, attend with an open mind and accept all these ideas just like a hypothesis of science. When I say sun rises in the morning, do you need any belief? There is no need for belief, and there is no need for doubt also. You don't have to doubt me, or you don't have to believe me. Just look. If you just look, you will understand. Yes, sun is rising in the morning. In the same way, whatever I am saying, just look. Look into that idea deeply and experiment with those ideas. Experiment with my experience. That is the only thing I need from you. Only then you are going to be benefited. Next, keep your mind and shoes outside. Here we have all gathered for the 6th day or the 7 days to experiment with some of the inner world truth, some of the inner world ideas. What is meant by inner world, I will explain to you. Almost all of us know about dukkha, sorrow. Is there anybody who says, I have no sorrow? If anybody says, for them there is no need for this class. Anybody? Nobody? Nobody. And if I ask each and every person, I can ask some one reason, you can all give some one reason. If you ask you to list out the reason, I won't be having time, even for a single person. So I will tell, you can all decide about one reason. You can give the main reason for your sorrow. Some reason, one way, you can give one reason.
The desire. The desire.
No, what your exact reason you want? Desire is a common reason. Give me the exact reason.
So you can call it unwanted desire.
Yes, okay. Somebody will tell, my wife is not listening to me. You see, wife means she will not listen to you. It's a basic structure. Husband means he will not listen to you. It's a basic structure. If she listens, be careful, she is not wife. That is something else. So it's a basic thing. And there are so many things, so many reasons, so many people will give. And somebody will tell that each one will give his own reason that I have no child because of that sorrow. I have no money because of that sorrow. If you say because of this reason you are full of dukkha, you are living in dukkha, you are living in depression. If you say that because of money, because I don't have money, I am depressed, I am in dukkha. Then a person who has got money also is in dukkha, is in depression. Am I right? Somebody says that I have no children, that's why I have no child, that's why I am in depression. The other man who has got a child says, you have only one problem, that you have no child. But when I get child, thousands of problems come. The people who have child, they are having thousands of problems. So, a man who says that because I have no child, I am in depression. The man who has got children, also in depression. There are 1,001 reasons you can give. Because of my ill health, I am disturbed, I am depressed, I am in dukkha. But a man who is healthy, you can ask him, are you happy? Again he will be finding another one. He says, no, I am in dukkha. So, if the dukkha depends on the outer world life, how can it be a common thing for all of you? All of you are coming from a various way of life. Some is rich, some is poor, some is different language, some belongs to Madras, some belongs to Bangalore, some belongs to... You are coming from cross section of society. You are coming from so many backgrounds. If the outer life's reason can be the reason for the dukkha, then how all of you can have? Then something more than outer world, the external world's life, must be the reason for dukkha. Is it not? All of you agree with the conclusion? If anybody is not agreeing, they can raise their hands. Please.
Dukkha is a mental status.
That is what I say. That is what I am telling. Dukkha is not dependent on external world's affairs. It is nothing to do with outer world affairs. It is nothing to do with external world affair at all. It is something to do with internal world affair. It is something to do with your attitude, not what you have, not the quantity of things which you have, but the quality of mind which you have. It is not the quantity of life, it is the quality of life. So, now we are going to work out some disciplines, you can say we are going to acquire some treasures of inner world which is missing in our life, which is not enough in our life. So when we are going to work out something of the inner world, we don't need any thought or idea about the outer world affairs. Unless you are completely free from the outer world, you cannot enter into the inner world. That is why meditation is always done in a cave. You are completely away from the society. You have come out of the society. You want to enter into the inner cave. You have entered this cave. So, when you enter into the cave, where you leave the shoes, just leave your mind. One thing, leave all your worries and sorrows and what to do, what not to do about the house, business problems. Just for this 2 hours, I think here there is nobody. Just if you give these 2 hours to your inner world, none of your external outer world things are going to get collapsed. No. Just for this 2 hours, dedicate all your energy, all your mind to the inner world. Let us not bother about the outer world these 2 hours. And don't bring any of your power, post, prestige inside with your head. The cave is very less height. If you come with all power, prestige on your head, you will get hit. So, please be very careful. When you come inside, only come with your head, not the weight on your head. Almost all our power, position, prestige are nothing but head weights. So, when you leave the chapel, just leave all your head weights also there and come inside. You will not get hit with the cave. So, I would like to give a small anecdote from Zen Buddhism. It's a great religion ever born in the humanity, in the world. Keichu, the great Zen teacher of the Meiji, was the head of Tokuku. One day, the governor of Kyoto called upon for the first time. His attendant presented the card of the governor, which read, Kitagaki, Governor of Kyoto. When the card was presented to the master, to the Zen Buddhist monk, an enlightened person, one great enlightened person was there. His name is Keichu. The state's governor, Kyoto state's governor, came to meet the master. And the attendant of the master stopped the governor at the gate itself. Then governor gave his card. Please give this card to your Swamiji, your Guruji. I want to meet him. The card read, Kitagaki, Governor of Kyoto. When the card was brought to the Guruji, he says, I have no business with such a fellow. Says the Swami to the attendant. Tell him to get out of here. Attendant was not able to understand. He took the card. He carried the card back with apologies to the governor. Then governor saw the card, and governor was very intelligent man, not like ordinary today's politician. He's a very intelligent man. The governor took the card back and just with a pencil he scratched out the words Governor of Kyoto and sent the card again to the master and said, ask your teacher again. When the card was brought to the teacher, to the master, master says, oh, is it the Kitagaki? Exclaimed him. I want to see him, bring him. A very beautiful anecdote, how to go and meet a master. I think all of you understood the anecdote. When the word Governor of Kyoto is there, it is nothing but a head weight, dead weight, which is sitting on our head. So naturally, when the weight, some weight is in your head, whatever master says cannot go into your head. When the weight was removed, everything can go inside. So he made it to come that governor without any head weight. What is after all this power, position, prestige, everything? Just a labels given by society to us. From here, from Bangalore, I want to send some parcel to Erode. So I am booking it in ABT parcel service. When it was taken to ABT parcel service, that man in parcel service, he puts a big label writing Erode on that parcel. Just the same way, society has labeled you. You are good, you are bad, you are educated, you are uneducated, you are having money, you are having dana dharma qualities. All these ideas, you are a great person, you are with influence. All these things are nothing but labels upon you. But what we do, we are so much drunk with the labels. Prestige and power, all these things are psychological drugs. You are so filled with you are so stupor, that ecstasy. You are completely addicted with those things. You consider yourself just as the labels. You think, I am nothing but this label. You forget that you are a parcel and you associate yourself with a label. All our life, we associate ourselves with ordinary labels. Is it not? That is why we are so much concerned with our labels. We won't be able to live without that labels even few hours. The label is so much needed to project ourselves. But we are continuously carrying that label, a big weight on your head. So with that weight, don't enter into the cave, you will get hit in your head. So, third thing, listen to this discourse like a medicinal discourse, medical discourse. What is meant by it? When some medical students listen about it, ourselves, we will just check up in a mentally. May not be, we will not touch, we may not touch, but mentally, what we will do? We will just see, look, whether it is there or not, whether I have something. But you just go and listen some spiritual discourse or moral discourse. That a master, moral teacher, he says, you should do dharma, you should not tell lie, you should be always truthful, you should be very calm and quiet. We never verify with ourselves, we always check with others. Whether he does dharma, immediately we think, this teaching is not for me, I am already doing dharma, this may be for a next man. This may be for a next person who is sitting behind me. This is for my neighbor, not for me. When he says, don't quarrel with others, love your neighbor as you are, we think, no, it is for neighbor, not for me. I am already loving. So these 7 days, don't listen like a spiritual discourse, listen like a medical discourse. I am talking to you. Please be very clear. I am talking to you. I am not talking collectively. I am talking to individuals. Forget these 6 days. That group is existing. Only I and you are existing. Whatever I say, just try to fit with your mind. Never do or never deliver the letter to other. It is addressed to you. I am addressing you. Don't divert the letter to the neighbor. So, if we get money order, we receive it. Some letter with some problems, just divert to others. It has become an attitude in our life. So be very clear, these 7 days, I am not speaking to your neighbor, I am speaking to you. Remember mentally, very clearly, that nobody else is existing except you and me. Don't bother about what others will understand, what they will think, how my wife will be understanding these ideas. Don't worry, it is our botheration, it is not yours. There are many people, relatives, some friends would have come. Then when I say something, they will start thinking in their mind, this idea is necessary for my wife. She should understand this. Rightly Swamiji has told. But when I say something for you, you never listen that. She listens that. Yes, this is necessary for him. Swamiji has not said rightly. So whatever you are supposed to hear, she is listening. And whatever she is supposed to hear, you are listening. Then, after going to house, she tries to teach you and you try to teach her. Don't allow this to happen. Listen directly. Breathe this very air. Hear these very words. Don't think of somebody else, what he will be understanding, what she will be understanding, and don't prepare yourself to go and deliver this lecture to somebody else. There are many people who will listen to my lecture, especially these mother-in-laws. They will be listening and continuously taking notes just to go and deliver this lecture to daughter-in-law. When you go to house, catch her. If she says, no, I don't want to listen also, we will not allow. Fire them. So don't try or don't prepare yourself to deliver this lecture on somebody else. So when you listen, try to digest. Your duty is just to digest, not to vomit on anybody else. So when you vomit, it will be always giving bad smell. So never plan for going and vomiting on somebody else's head. Try to digest what you listen. These are the few basic instructions which I want to give. And there will be many questions which will be arising in the class. Don't think I will be answering all your questions. I will be questioning many of your answers. Most of you are filled with big answers in your life. Many of you are living with so many answers. So, not that I will be answering all your questions here. I will be questioning all your answers. So, whatever questions arise in your heart, arise in your mind, never try to discuss those questions with your friends. Or never try to refer some spiritual books. Just keep those questions into your heart and try to make it into a quest. Understand me? If you have some questions, just contemplate, meditate over it. Keep that question in your heart. Don't allow that question to die, or don't discuss that question with your friends or relatives or with books. Just keep that question with you and meditate. Or come here with that question. And here you will be answered. Here you will be getting. I can't even say that here you will be answered. Here your quest will be quenched. It will not be solved, it will be dissolved. All your questions. So just keep those questions inside you. Don't try to get some answers from somebody, from some relatives. And don't compare. Don't compare this class, this system with any other system. Most of you attended many of the yoga meditation classes. When you come here, don't compare those ideas with our ideas. Because when I use the word Atman, I will be giving totally different idea, totally different explanation. When you heard this same very word from somebody else, they will have given some other different explanation. So, all masters are true. All the masters Through all the masters, same Parashakti is working, but paths are totally different. All may end up in a same goal, same ideal, but path is totally different. So, don't compare and get confused yourself. Next instruction, beautiful. Learn to laugh. All these 6 to 7 days, you will be told many anecdotes, jokes. Never think how many centimeters I should open my mouth. The idiotic culture has taught you how to be morose, serious, sick. It has not taught you how to be happy, ecstasy, expressive. So these 7 days, listen. Not only listen, learn how to be expressive, how to be happy, how to be flowing, how to be streaming. Almost all our life has become dead, dull. The streaminess, the flowingness has stopped. Almost corpse, dead body. I think much worse than death is live death. At least dead people don't disturb others. They are serious, that's all. They don't disturb others. But the so-called alive dead people, not only they are morose, they make the whole atmosphere also morose and sick. All seriousness is nothing but sickness. All seriousness. Capital letter, red letter, A-L-L. All seriousness is sickness. So these few hours, for few days, just drop all seriousness and try to be open and relaxed, just like a child. Try to laugh. Whenever you listen, whenever you heard something, if there is a need, just laugh. Laugh with full heart, not with simple mouth, or don't think or don't measure how many centimeters should I open the mouth. Here nobody is there to measure your mouth and everybody is going to laugh. So just completely be open. And there is a small anecdote. In one tea shop, there are a few friends that are sitting. One person was telling a joke, and such a way it is told, nobody felt like laughing. The sense of humor was not there. It was not expressed exactly. The joke is right, but the way in which it was told was not proper manner. He missed the essence. But one person, again Nasruddin was there. He started laughing like anything. He started laughing heartily. He laughed so much. The near man asked, "Why did you laugh? We did not feel like laughing." He told something, but we did not feel like laughing. Then Nasruddin explained, No, we should laugh, otherwise he will tell again the same thing. So, I warn you, if you don't laugh, again you have to tell the same thing. So, learn to laugh for these 6 days. When you laugh, your sickness will disappear. If you don't laugh, your health will disappear. So when you learn to laugh, even your sickness will disappear. Another one, next instruction. Be punctual. It's not told in a moralistic way. When I say the word be punctual, it is respect to each other. It's a great respect you are paying to each other. We Indians, such an idiotic training is given to us. Always if it is told 6, 7. Indian time 7. I think all of us are busy with some other activity. Anybody who has no business? All of us are busy, even without business. Busy without business. That may be true, but we are all busy. All of us are busy. Nobody is free. We are all here to learn something. So, if you come late, you are disrespecting somebody else and wasting others' time. If you all doesn't assemble in one time, then I am going to delay my lecture. So, then each one of us wasting others' time. So, when you come late, you are wasting others' time in one way. Another one thing, when I start my lecture, when I start my discourse, after I starting this discourse, if someone comes and moves here and there, some movement is there, then what will be happening? My flow current will be disturbed. Then 1 minute I have to spend for him. He will come and sit till the time I will have to wait. Then when as soon as he comes only, he will search for his place. Then somebody who is his neighbor, he will wish him, yes, you are keeping well. I will practice something, some 2-3 questions he will inquire. Your wife is keeping well. Something will be inquired. Then he will get settled. These few moments of disturbance, maybe it is looking 1 minute, but it is just like a speed breaker. You are going in a Mysore highway, Mysore road, going in 100 km speed. Beautiful road, a good Opel car, you are flying. Just a small speed breaker comes. It is nothing more than 3 feet. Only a speed breaker is going to be 3 feet. But before nearing the speed breaker, you have to reduce your speed and cross the speed breaker, again pick up the speed. So the time which is spent, in that time you could have traveled 1 kilometer. 3 feet takes the time of 1 kilometer. So in the same way, if you come late, when you come and sit, it is nothing but, it is not going to take more than a minute. But the speed getting down, slowing down, crossing and picking up will take at least 10 minutes. So don't come late. Be punctual. It's a deep respect to each other. So we have all gathered here to learn something. So be exactly sharply on time. So these are the few things I want to explain. So any of you wants to ask some 1 or 2 questions, you can ask. Anything else? Tomorrow onwards, please bring a small mattress with you and bring paper and pen. But the instruction is you should not take notes. Please don't take notes in the class, because you are never going to look at the notes afterwards. I know. It is very clear. Even if you take notes, you are not going to even look at that notes afterwards. After a few days, if you ask somebody that where is your notes, it is there. It will be there. It will be there where it should be. So don't take notes. Just record everything in your heart, and there is no need even to record. The way in which I express the things will directly enter in your heart, because what I am expressing is not from head, it is something from my heart. So naturally, directly it will enter your heart. It will not only affect your head, it will directly enter your heart. So there is no need for taking any notes. So just listen, that's enough. Be attentive when you listen. Be in present, that's enough. So any questions? When I ask you some question, say either yes or no. If you just keep mum, how can I interact? Because I am not telling the story of Ramayana. Even if you say yes or no, Ramayana is going to be Ramayana. Rama only has done this for us. Nobody else can change it. So in between also you can sleep, take rest, no problem. If you go for listening Ramayana, after listening half an hour story, you can just sleep, and after 1 hour when you get up, you can pick up the story because you know the story. But here, it's not going to be like that. So, be attentive and be in present. Just interact, either yes or no. You have full freedom to question at me at any moment. Any moment, you can just raise your hands, and class will stop. Your questions will be answered. Any moment. You can all enroll after the class. Any other clarification?
They want to bring some of their friends tomorrow also.
They can bring. You can bring. But just give these few introductions which I gave today. Those the essence you can give it to them. Just you give them. Of course, tomorrow also I will be expressing these few ideas to them. No problem. Yeah, you can think.
Swamiji, do you have any cassettes or literature?
Of my what I have done. I have VCD cassettes. VCD cassettes are available now. If you want, it will be. No, you can ask secretary, contact secretary. He will provide you. But still now I have not yet made any books. Only VCDs are produced. And audio cassettes are available. Any other questions? Anything else you want to give instruction?
Presentation after this one.
That's all. Anything else? And clothing will be another one thing. Clothing. Easy clothing for gents, this type of dhoti and pajama will be comfortable because every day you are going to do some meditations here. Here itself will give the instruction and you will be made to do that. For that, this cloth will be very easy and comfortable. The energy flow of the body will be very beautiful with these clothes. For women, the chudidar, that will be the best clothing. This type of clothing. What she is saying. So thank you. Enough for today.